Switch 2, I'm a little bit late to the party, but everybody's talking about it right now, and it's an inevitable reveal for the system that I believe is also going to occur in January. I think it only makes sense at this point for Nintendo to unleash information on this thing and put out an official teaser that shows off the system, the new capabilities, and gives us some glimpses of some new software. Very similar to what they did with Switch 1, where we got that late October reveal, and they communicated the concept perfectly. When you look at how they introduced the system with the kid playing Breath of the Wild on the TV, and then he takes the controllers out of the grip, slides them onto the tablet, takes the tablet out, takes the game with him on the go. The portability, sort of the hybrid concept was brilliantly communicated through that reveal. And then we obviously got glimpses of a lot of other games. We did get Odyssey in that initial reveal. We didn't get a lot of Odyssey. We didn't know it was Super Mario Odyssey during that reveal, but we did get a glimpse of that. Skyrim, Mario Kart, so quite a bit. And then, of course, they had the January event and the March launch. So it was a very quick turnaround, like 5 months. I expect something very similar to that. I think we all do at this point, where we'll get a January reveal. I'm thinking early January. I don't think it matters whether they announce the system before Donkey Kong Country Returns HD releases or later or after it releases. But that game's coming out right smack in the middle of the month on the 16th. First week of January. Get this thing, because Nintendo at this point, with all the leaks that are coming out now, skins, accessories, we saw the wheels from Mario Kart, they have to counter these leaks. And the last thing I think Nintendo would want and fans would want is to get a full-blown spoiler where we get a look at the final form factor, the logo, and the system coming off the manufacturing line, which has happened before and will happen again if they don't hurry up and get this thing announced. So I think it only makes sense at this point to have the reveal in January. And I think the trajectory at this point, I'm thinking a January reveal, a March blowout event, similar to the January one for Switch 2, where we get information on a lot of new games. And the reason why I choose March is because that's the month where Nintendo will be celebrating the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. So why not kind of couple that with a Switch 2 event? So maybe they show off the next Mario Kart or the next 3D Mario in that event, right? I think we'll get a glimpse of the next 3D Mario in January during the Switch reveal, just like we got Odyssey in October and the Switch 1 reveal. But then they can blow the game out of the water, give us a full-blown trailer, and give us more on the game in March, right? And then a June launch, because that leaves enough time. If 3D Mario is the day one killer app game, which I still think it will be, obviously it could be new Mario Kart. There's other candidates, there are other options, but I'm still clinging to a new 3D Mario game. And if they unveil it in March, that still gives enough time. If it's a late June launch, which I think it will be, I think Nintendo will push this right to the edge. That still leaves roughly 3 months, April, May, and a lot of June, to continue to hype up 3D Mario and market the game. Could it be a May launch? It could very well still be a May release. I'm hearing that month thrown around as well. I don't think Nintendo has ever released a system in May, but there is a first for everything. They have released 4 systems in June. But I'm still clinging to June. I think they're going to give this thing as much time as possible. And I mentioned before, it's not about whether or not the hardware is ready to launch. It's whether or not the games are ready to launch. The games are ready to go polished. And it's not just about that day one killer app game either. It's about having a consistent output and release after the system, every month after the system comes out. And we can always harken back to Switch 1, where we got Breath of the Wild day one. They followed up in the second month with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so we had that huge single-player experience out of the gate. And they followed up in the next month with a big multiplayer experience. Then we had a new IP in ARMS, another big multiplayer experience. We had Splatoon 2, another big multiplayer experience. So a lot of multiplayer right out the gate. But a lot of single-player stuff too. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem Warriors, Mario and Rabbids, new concept, new game. And they capped the year off with Skyrim, Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, just think about how much there was within those first 6 months. And I'm probably forgetting a lot of games too. But the first 6 months after the release. So is Nintendo going to try to replicate something similar to that? I think third parties are going to take the forefront more so in the first 6 months. I mean, we're gonna get some first party stuff. I can even see a new IP from Nintendo being in there. They always like to have something new, casual. 3D Mario, Metroid Prime 4 could still be cross-gen release. I mean, there's a lot of options, but I think it's going to be a little less on the first party front within the first 6 to 8 months. And that'll give third parties the opportunity to shine out the gate more so. And then Nintendo could really have a banger year in late 2025, 2026 as they continue to polish up their games, right? So I think there'll be enough, but just not quite as output heavy overall as compared to what we got with Switch in the first 6 months, which isn't a bad thing because, again, the more third-party games, the better. And you want to give third parties a chance to sell. So if Nintendo's releasing a ton of big first-party games, 3D Mario, Mario Kart, that could take away from third-party offerings, right? So just a little lighter on the first-party front. Give third parties some time to shine out the gate and continue to polish up their slate. In late 2025, 2026, Nintendo can really capitalize with some big games. Games like maybe the next mainline Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 4, Splatoon 4. I see a lot of that stuff being 2026 at the earliest. So we'll see, but nonetheless, I see a January reveal for Switch 2, a March blowout event, and a June launch. Let's see if I'm right. I could be off a little bit, but it's typically that seems like the pipeline moving forward at this point. I think that's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that at all. At the end of the day, it's really right around the corner. So that's all for now. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more. I'll continue to talk about Switch 2, and I'll continue to stay on the subject. It's a very interesting topic, and there's a lot of hype for the system. I can't wait. So yeah, thanks for listening. Peace out, Artisan 2.